What's up, YouTube? So I got to ask the question, and it's a segment that's going to pertain to certain artists. Curtis Mayfield, if he never made an album after Superfly, was his legacy secured? Yeah. I mean, he had soundtracks, and you can make the case that he pretty much did soundtrack work after, and when he did Claudine, Glass Night, and Pips for the movie, and Sparkle later with Aretha Franklin, The Eyes of Laura Mars. But Superfly was pretty much that solidified his greatness. I don't think that you really had to do anything after that. You know, people think you got to put out 50, 60 albums, and that's good. But let's be realistic. If we get about 3 or 4 memorable records from you, that's all we ask for. We want the hits. We're not expecting that you're going to have, you know, you're not going to have this run of incredible albums and uh, you know, change the course like Miles Davis did. We're not expecting that. But or Stevie Wonder, what Stevie Wonder did. But they do loans a question. Does an artist, when they get a certain milestone record, is that as good as it get? Do you need to do anything else? See, with Curtis Mayfield, when he made this album, it was almost in direction and reflection. He was telling the tale as opposed to what the movie was about, but he did it. And the reality is that it was strong and it left an impact and it was memorable and that whole nine. But it's a situation where um you look at it and then you kind of just you kind of psychologically put it in perspective where it's like um he had all the nuances that were needed. When you hear Freddie's dead, Superfly, when you hear about the whole hustle and the streets and the vibe, he captured the imagination of it. So he really didn't have to go anywhere else with it. He had solidified what he was going to do as an artist. And I think that was one of the things that made that soundtrack so potent and powerful because it was the culmination. Obviously, it was different than the stuff he did with the impressions because that was more uplifting, more geared towards love and the spirits and everything like that. When he did Superfly, that showcased a different side of his artistry. But it was pretty much the culmination that it was his peak. I mean, it was like he just hit that superpower. So he really, there was nothing else he could really do that was going to offset that in terms of a record. Now, you can debate songs and things of that nature, but as far as like the album where it caught him in his essence, that was pretty much it right there. So the question was, did Curtis Mayfield, did he need to do anything else after Superfly to change your opinion? No. The only thing is this, is when artists make albums post, sometimes they put out too much stuff that gets corny and then you kind of lose the luster of what they were about. But if as long as it's good or it stays at least average or so, it doesn't fall off. But once you've done and hit that kind of album, which Superfly was, you need not say no more. You made a statement, and Curtis Mayfield made a strong statement with Superfly. So that's how I look at that album, and I think it's one of the greatest soundtracks ever to this day. So he did not need to put anything else after. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another share if you like, and hit the membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. of my peace.